Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we've got this really fascinating set of sources. They detail what, at first glance looks like a clothing brand.
Right, BKLEO Clothing Community.
But it quickly becomes clear it's, well, something else. Almost like a structured social experiment.
Yeah, much more than just fabric and stitching.
Exactly. This isn't going to be your typical fashion deep dive.
Not at all.
Because the material itself, it makes this really bold claim right up front. Almost philosophical.
Mm-hmm. They state their product, the actual clothes,
Is explicitly a means, not an end.
which immediately tells you something's different.
Okay, let's unpack this then. When a brand literally tells you the thing they're selling isn't the point, that it's just a tool, what does that signal?
Well, it signals their focus isn't on traditional retail stuff like, thread counts or the latest runway trends. Those are secondary.
Right.
So our goal for you today is to kind of quickly map out the blueprint of this lifestyle community.
Lifestyle community, yeah.
We need to focus on how they actually manage to weave together the fashion, the empowerment piece, and a real sense of community connection.
And sustainability in that connection, presumably.
Yes, exactly. And it's hyper-targeted. The sources are clear on that.
Who are they aiming for?
It's built for young professionals, entrepreneurs, people actively seeking motivation, self-improvement enthusiasts.
Got it. So people already sort of primed for this message.
Precisely. They're targeting individuals who already define themselves by progress, by their goals.
So in effect, they're selling, what?
Yeah.
A system. Accountability.
Yeah, basically a system of accountability. And the clothes, they act as the uniform for being part of that system.
That distinction feels critical. Buying the shirt isn't just buying a shirt. It's like enrolling.
Exactly, enrolling in the system. That's the engine for their loyalty.
And they don't hide it either. They flat out call BKLEO a tribe of like-minded individuals.
And a movement bigger than us.
That's big talk. So the vision has to match that, right?
It does. The aim stated is building this global community.
Where fashion meets purpose and transformation is a shared journey.
Right. And the ultimate goal they talk about is creating a real, tangible ripple effect.
A ripple effect of what, specifically?
Of positive mindset, positive behavior, and ultimately positive impact.
Okay, so quite ambitious.
Very. What's fascinating is watching how they translate that big idea into, a practical, unique value proposition. A UVP.
How do they pitch it?
They're blending the desirable stuff, stylish clothes, with this almost mandatory support for personal growth.
Mandatory might be strong, but definitely expected.
Expected, yes.
Yeah.
It creates this powerful psychological hook, doesn't it? Your buying decision is tied directly to who you want to become, your identity.
So why this community over, say, just hiring a life coach or joining a standard workshop?
Good question. The sources list 5 key benefits, the reasons they believe seekers choose this specific structure.
Okay, what are they?
An empowering environment first, then inspiring content, strong community engagement.
Makes sense.
Exclusive opportunities, and that kind of essential vibe check, positive vibes.
So it's framed less like buying clothes and more like investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Your personal infrastructure.
Exactly that. It's an investment in your support system, not just your wardrobe.
Okay, so if the clothes are just the symbol, the means, then the culture has to be the actual product.
Absolutely core.
To understand how they deliver on that promise, we need to look closely at how they define culture. It's not just generic positivity.
No, they codify it. There are 4 specific pillars that spell out what community means inside BKLEO.
Right. Pillar 1 is support. Pretty straightforward, lifting each other up, good times and bad.
Standard community stuff, but essential.
Pillar 2, authenticity. This one's interesting. The expectation is sharing real stories, raw moments, and personal growth.
Okay, let's pause on that authenticity bit.
Yeah.
In a world that's just saturated with perfectly curated Instagram feeds, making raw moments a core pillar, that's a gamble. High risk, potentially high reward.
How so? What's the risk?
Well, it implies vulnerability is basically required currency to participate fully.
Okay. And the reward?
Deeper connection, presumably. But it raises a question. How do they manage that? How do you keep it from becoming, competitive vulnerability or just toxic positivity?
That's a fair point. Do the sources suggest how they handle that?
They hint that the structure of how people engage is key, particularly things like their testimony nights.
Right, we'll get to those. The idea is focusing the sharing.
Exactly. Keeping the focus on progress and lessons learned, not just dwelling on the struggle or the pain itself.
Okay, that makes sense. So pillar 3 is inspiration, leading by example, encouraging others.
Standard motivational stuff.
And pillar 4 is belonging, summed up really bluntly. No judgment, just growth.
Clear and concise.
So here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Mm.
They explicitly frame wearing the clothes
Yeah.
as not just joining a fashion brand, you're joining a tribe committed to those 4 pillars.
So the t-shirt or hoodie becomes, a signal.
Yeah, exactly. A visible signal to other members and maybe even to yourself that you subscribe to this specific way of interacting and growing. It's almost like a psychological uniform.
And that right there connects directly back to the target audience.
The seekers and learners.
Yes. These are people actively looking for structure. They want a framework for progress.
So if you're maybe struggling a bit with self-discipline,
Having an external, visible reminder, a piece of clothing you put on every day that reinforces your commitment, that's a powerful behavioral nudge.
it makes the abstract goal much more concrete.
Absolutely. The sources really emphasize that this whole structure is engineered for actual behavioral change.
It's practical.
It is. They might use lofty language like movement bigger than us, but what the sources seem to reveal is this highly effective, maybe even elite, psychological feedback loop.
Primarily for high achievers or those aspiring to be.
Seems that way. It's positioned as this space where, unlike the rest of the world, may be pressuring you to fit in.
Here, you could be your true driven self.
That's the promise.
Okay, let's dig into the mechanics then. If the culture is the product, how do they actually deliver that connection, especially globally? Let's start digital.
Right. The main hub online is Discord.
Okay, Discord. For people maybe not familiar, it's like organized chat rooms, right?
Um,
Different channels for different topics.
Exactly, which is crucial for how they use it. They talk about free discussion, global connection. It allows for that kind of segmentation.
And crucially, it supports asynchronous communication. People don't have to be online at the same exact time.
Which is super smart for building an international community across all the different time zones. It makes participation flexible.
So the commitment is structured, but when you engage, can be flexible.
Precisely. But the really innovative piece, especially for a clothing brand,
Go on.
is that members get the chance to actually co-design the exclusive garment or cloth.
Whoa, okay. Co-design. That's
Yeah.
different.
Isn't it? That's a massive lever for building loyalty. Think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
When you let someone, a customer, contribute to creating the actual product.
they're not just a consumer anymore.
Exactly. They shift roles. They become a vested owner, a stakeholder.
It's not just a shirt, it's their shirt, in a way.
Yes. Which generates this exponentially higher level of attachment
Yeah.
and perceived value. Way more than any slick ad campaign could ever achieve.
Yep, that's genuinely clever branding. Genius, even.
It really is. And that focus on active participation, it doesn't just stop at co-designing clothes.
It carries through to their events.
Yes, they're structured events. They feel less like casual hangouts and more like required coursework for self-improvement.
Required might be strong, but definitely part of the expected participation.
Agreed. For example, they have monthly Zoom calls.
Okay, what happens on those?
The sources say they're dedicated to personal growth, empowerment, progress, updates on the community, and worldwide networking.
So it's like an internal global seminar series mixed with a social catch-up.
That's a good way to put it. And if those Zoom calls are the seminars,
Then the monthly testimony nights are.
the accountability sessions, maybe the lab reports,
Huh? Okay, tell me more.
these nights are specifically for sharing and hearing stories of progress, positive change.
Just personal development.
No, crucially across different areas. Personal growth, yes, but also wins in their businesses, their families, tangible stuff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
That keeps it grounded in the real world.
absolutely. It ensures the community stays focused on actionable results, not just, philosophical good vibes.
It sounds like a high-powered mastermind group, almost.
It does, right. But kind of disguised as a social hour and an accountability forum.
Yeah.
Very effective structure.
And it's not all just online, is it? They mention in-person stuff, too.
Correct. They're clearly committed to bringing the mission face to face, as they put it, cementing those digital bonds.
What kind of events?
The sources list things like local pop-ups, more casual meetups,
Okay.
but also dedicated empowerment workshops, sometimes with guest speakers.
Right, more structured learning.
Yes. And they mention ambassadors-only experiences, so there's an element of tiers or recognition.
Interesting. And community service.
Yes, a specific mention of community giveback and charity events. And notably, there's this call to action in the materials.
What is it?
They explicitly ask people listening or reading to email them if they want to host an event in their own city.
Wow, so they're crowdsourcing their global event planning?
Seems like it. Smart way to scale the in-person aspect.
Okay, so you have these big structured events, Zoom calls, testimony nights. How do they keep the energy up day to day between those?
Ah, good question. That's where their themed content days come in. They act like daily or weekly touch points.
Keeps engagement high.
Exactly. High engagement, but also keeps it aligned with the core goals. It provides an operational rhythm.
Give me some examples.
Okay, so there's Monday motivation, pretty standard quotes, affirmations to kick off the week.
We all seen those.
Right. But then Transformation Tuesday.
Ooh, what's that?
That's where members are actively encouraged, maybe even expected, to share their personal growth stories, milestones, or practical self-improvement tips.
So more structured sharing, tied to the core mission.
Precisely. And then, of course,
Let me guess. Fashion Friday.
you got it. Sharing outfits, style tips, fashion hacks.
Which neatly keeps the actual clothing, the means, central to the conversation too.
Ties it all together. They also run a book club.
Oh yeah? What kind of books?
Focus on personal development naturally, but also sometimes fashion-related literature. Keeps an intellectual depth.
Okay, so themed days, book club.
Mm.
But if the clothes are just the tool, what's the homework, the stuff they really push members to do?
That would be the challenges. Beyond the daily themes, these are specific, time-bound activities designed to drive action.
Action, not just talk.
Exactly, and to build deeper connections between members. It's where the gamification really kicks in to lock down accountability.
Okay, like what? What kind of challenges?
Well, there's the Style Evolution Challenge.
Style evolution.
Yeah, where you're asked to visually show how your fashion choices are changing to reflect your internal growth.
Wow. Literally marrying the product and the purpose. That's clever.
Very. Then you have challenges focused squarely on action, like the Empowerment Action Challenge.
Okay, what's the action?
It mandates taking some positive action each day for a set period, like a week.
Mm-hmm.
Could be self-care, could be an act of kindness for someone else.
Prevents it from becoming just passive consumption of inspiration.
Right. Keeps it active.
Yeah.
And then to build camaraderie,
Yes.
the Community Connection Challenge. This one actually sets up a buddy system.
A buddy system. Okay, tell me about that.
Members get paired up to support each other on goals, check in, build that rapport.
That's a really effective way to distribute accountability, isn't it? Peer-to-peer.
Much more scalable than relying only on the brand or moderators to keep everyone engaged.
Smart. Any others?
There's also a gratitude challenge. Simple concept. Share something you're grateful for daily.
Which probably acts as a kind of cultural glue, keeping the overall tone positive.
Yeah, focusing on abundance, on what's working, rather than just what needs fixing. A buffer against negativity.
So what does this all add up to? When you put all these pieces together, the Discord, the testimony nights, the buddy system, the challenges.
It means the entire culture is meticulously designed. It's rigorously centered on celebrating success, yes, but also inspiring action to reach new heights.
It really does sound less like marketing and more like operationalized self-help.
That's a great way to describe it. Operationalized self-help with a stylish uniform.
Okay, so let's try and summarize the whole picture.
Right. So this BKLEO model, fundamentally it treats fashion, well, not as the main thing.
No, it's a tool.
A deliberate, stylish tool used for both social and personal empowerment. It's an incredibly shrewd business model.
And it targets that specific audience we talked about, the learners, the seekers.
People who actively crave structure. They want external accountability for their self-improvement journey.
So when you buy into BKLEO,
You're essentially signaling, I'm wearing my story, I'm building my future, and I'm growing with this community. That's the package.
it really does offer a profound blueprint for thinking about brand loyalty in today's market.
How so?
Well, if a brand openly says its main product isn't the physical item,
Right, it's the system.
it's the organized system of support and growth, the transformation framework itself. How does that change what consumer loyalty even means?
Loyalty isn't just to the product quality or price anymore.
Exactly. You're loyal because the framework is actively helping you achieve your life goals, not just because the shirt fits well or looks cool.
That's a fundamental shift. Loyalty based on personal ROI, essentially.
It really is. Which leads to the final thought. The provocative question, maybe.
Yeah.
Think about it. What other industries, maybe ones totally removed from clothing,
Hmm.
like financial services,
Mm.
technology, maybe even niche education?
Okay.
Could they successfully copy this specific model, this fusion of a tangible product or service?
With a highly structured personal transformation framework built around it.
Yes. That blend of identity, commerce, and structured growth. It feels like something we might see more of. Definitely something worth mulling over long after we wrap up here.
Absolutely a fascinating model to watch.